What's up, everybody? Dr. Trevor Wilkins here. I'm a 15-year law enforcement veteran turned psychotherapist if you're new to the channel. And one of the things that I treat regularly is PTSD. I know we're calling it a couple of different things these days, PTS, PTSI, but the reality is the diagnosis is called PTSD, and it's one of my specialties. Of course, a lot of that's done with public safety members. It's not the only people I treat, but it is the people I have passion about because I was there. Until you see it, you don't see it. I made a video that aired earlier this week about the actual biological changes that happen in the brain because of PTSD. This isn't just a thinking problem. This isn't only a filter problem. Those are things that we have to get on top of. But there are biological changes that actually happen in the brain. Let me give you a couple of more. And just like in my previous video, I want to read a couple of these, make sure I get my words that I wrote down correct. So, dysregulated neurotransmitter systems. This is something that happens with PTSD. It can affect neurotransmitter systems like serotonin and noradrenaline, which play vital roles in mood dysregulation or regulation, arousal, and alertness. Important things we all need, right? Imbalances in these systems can contribute to mood disorders, anxiety, and sleep disturbances, and are often associated with PTSD. That over-the-top mood, that inability, feeling like you can't always regulate yourself. Again, just like I said in the previous video, we're not going to use as excuses for the dumb things that we do and the habits we need to change and the overreactions that we talk ourselves into. But it turns out the brain changes. There's neurotransmitter problems here. There's things like noradrenaline and serotonin that get changed here. These are not things that you just decided to make changes about, and they do heavily affect you. This is the brain making changes. Let me move on to another one. Alteration in default mode network, the DMN as it's commonly called. This network, active during rest and involved in self-referential thought, can be altered with PTSD. Altered. Not a little problem, altered. These changes may relate to symptoms like rumination, where individuals have persistent, intrusive thoughts about the trauma. Sound familiar? One of the diagnostic criteria for PTSD is consistent rumination or reminders of the event. Now, we all have things in our lives, in our careers, that we don't like to think about, those difficult calls. But if your body, for whatever reason, feels like consistently ruminates on some of those, maybe it's some things we need to change through talk. Maybe it's some things we need to change through EMDR, rather. And maybe it's a problem with the brain that we need to get on top of. There are actual changes to your default mode network. You will ruminate, the brain thinking that's where you're stuck at. Hence the default part. Here's another one, sleep and the brain. I struggled with this one for a long time in those dark years. PTSD frequently disrupts sleep, impacting the brain's ability to process and consolidate memories. That's where EMDR comes in. Poor sleep can exacerbate problems in memory and concentration, can also impact physical health. I spoke in the just previous video about the changes, about how it actually affects the health, actually changes the brain. That lack of sleep, terrible, terrible. There's very important parts of things that happen in sleep. We can do a different video on the neurobiology and the necessities of sleep. But one of the things that happens during sleep is the consolidation of memories. Your brain trying to put away the things that happen during the day. For example, you don't drive every day thinking about how to change a flat tire, but at some point early in your life, you learn that. And when you need it, you will pull it out of that shelf, more likely on the left side of the brain, that logic side of the brain, and you'll use it. But you don't have to think about it all the time. What shelf do you put really bad trauma on? I'm not going to go into specifics. But what shelf do you put the horrible things that you've seen and heard and been experienced in, have felt helpless or hopeless or not good enough? What shelf do you put those on? It's very difficult for the brain. It can be done. It's where things like EMDR come in. EMDR's primary function is to treat maladaptively or unprocessed memories. They will still cause a problem. This is what I do on a daily basis, and I see it do amazing things both on my couch in my office and to the people that reach out to me online. Finally, chronic stress and overall brain health. Prolonged exposure to the stress hormones associated with PTSD can have a terrible effect on overall brain health. I was going to use a big word there, but I think terrible fits so much better. It may accelerate brain aging and increase the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. There, I threw a bigger one in for you. It may actually cause more physical health problems. These degenerative diseases to the neurological parts of the brain may increase. Your health may be worse. It may have poor effect on the overall health of your body, but specifically your brain for this video. Forgetting things. I talked about this in my previous video. Not able to concentrate. These are things that are caused by stress, that are caused by PTSD, and also caused by your brain deteriorating. Listen, I've done enough stuff to my body over the years of powerlifting and competing in strongman and bodybuilding and fighting on the side of the road by myself against people that wanted me dead, about people that wanted to escape, chasing bad guys, running through doors and windows. We've done enough stuff to our body to age it. Some days my knees feel it. Every day my lower back feels it. Sometimes other parts of my body feel it. What about the brain? We seem to be okay with kind of tearing down our bodies. It's almost like a badge of honor. Yeah, I'm pretty messed up, but I did important things to get here. I didn't just age slowly. But now we're doing this to our brain, causing our brain to age more quickly. These are things that happen with PTSD, this chronic stress, this acute trauma that happens. This is not just us being lazy or forgetful or stupid or broken. Turns out we have a brain problem. It's a fixable problem. There's different ways to approach it. Meds, talk therapy, EMDR, all kinds of brain science that's going on right now to make these things stronger. I can recommend tons of them. If this sounds like something you need, please reach out to me. theangryvikingtherapist.com. You'll be speaking directly to me once you enter your information. I want to help. If I'm not the guy to help you, I'll find somebody it is. I know I don't come across as everybody's favorite therapist. That's how I got that nickname. But I am driven to have people see that this is a brain problem, but a fixable brain problem.